the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
This is indeed a worrying news. This is indeed a very, very worrying news. Ya peke from the United States of America. Enya sempa, enya semde. Ni nyina ne say US Senate shia na Senator your friend no Senator Jim Rich R. Idaho echirimu a US aban enhwe na oh my Ghana ka bia yede wo no omontemfamfiri ye IMF funding nim oko cnbc.com story ya meba be kenkan kiremu ni a chekiremu wo so so amehunu portions of it enso ewo myjoyonline.com to be a person who follow story obetumi agugu US senator wants Ghana to pay off all debt to American companies with IMF funding or no mercy now Enna His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Oni ne Vice Her Excellency Professor Jena Lopukwajamai and other leaders of the NDC obi de say Fiavi Kwete ya oye the General Secretary and a Finance Minister designate Dr. Kesilato Baforsin Asia IMF mpanimfo ewo Accra. Now the key aspects of their discussion were centered on funding arrangement of the third IMF and Shishaya Omoni Omai Ghana war, which is going to focus on strategies for economic stabilization, economic growth, and a fiscal sustainability. Now, with regards to the ongoing financial support package, IMF, the International Monetary Fund, Edema Omai Ghana, which was entered into by the previous administration under former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Vice, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia then. Enunti na omo trans ya hwe kwan yo befa so a sa hyehye no e ho dada no ebetu aso betumi akoso na the third tranche of IMF sika was o my Ghana saka na ye di bowura yesika sam ntotoye ne hyehye mu ema no konkan ne tumpon no bibia akoso kama enti enra His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and IMF penifo hyiae an baba ye koso enkomodidie koso Emma IMF also the conditions Emma aban yi say baby to say banking sector clean up no enya dia aban yi betumi reverse aban yi tumi reverse afi no so no other expenditure any income with respect to certain taxes bia the influence eba oman yi esikasem totoye ho so aban no enhwe enye na enkomodidie no ekoso wiye no ano na US Senate enso trase MET IMF epenimfo enomu na at the meeting san komodie ya earlier on meti head na maamo no eba so na beken kan ye brofo na as much as possible ma kiremu ewotwi kasanemu ama ya tasie o say a ranking member of the United States Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, Senator James E. Rich, has asked Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to leverage the country's position as the IMF's largest shareholder to ask the IMF to get Ghana repay all its debt to American entities. It will be the precondition for the US to continue to offer support and further IMF assistance to Ghana. He warned. My mention ha kakra na yan san to ankomodie no so enkomodie no in fact very very critical to Ghana's economic outlook and to Ghana's economic growth, to Ghana's economic stability, because e kanu nya kaketwa kana waka ho asem no enye kaketwa. And the United States Senate Committee member, ranking member on foreign relations ena echiremu a omo nso ka kire IMF ya omo eka the largest shareholders no say omo nhyema Ghana entua kabia oman no de to American entities and companies anya sa omo United States preconditions ya omo dey offer support to Ghana ehun beba sem sanso na further IMF assistance to Ghana so ehun beba sem it was a warning and what was say expressing former concerns about the potential $3 billion International Monetary Fund loan to Ghana, Senator Rich cited significant unpaid debt owed by the government of Ghana to American companies. In a letter addressed to U.S. Treasury that Ghana owns approximately $251 million in arrests to several U.S.-based businesses, including Twin City Energy, American Tower Company, GSM, Sharp, Cosmos Energy, and Zipline. These arrests, he noted, have placed a severe financial burden on these companies and threaten their operations in Ghana. It is my understanding that the government of Ghana owes approximately $251 million in outstanding payments to American companies, Senator Rich wrote. Now, a chunk of these debt were accrued from 2010 to 2024. And per our records, the previous government that served from 2010 to 2016 hugely failed to honor some of these loan repayment structures. It was only under the just left government that some of these loans were serviced, Senator Rich wrote. That is the important quotation here. According to the U.S. Senate, at the Kudenti Award, I am a phone share. Na Ghana buy car, what did the American companies, the American entities, a big body, a bit is a Twin City Energy, a bit is a American Tower Company, a bit is a GSM, a bit is a Sharp, a bit is a Cosmos Energy, a bit is a Zipline, and they say, a cannot do duano, a Sansia free 2010, ya a deba. Na banya na owo sa breno e kanu dodo na na wose wo hwe na wotuatua bi no wantua na emomu abanya be succeed sa previous government from 2010 to 2016 no e bo modin atua bi but still e kanu de aka no e doso. These unpaid debts place substantial financial strain on US businesses in Ghana and jeopardize their operations and investments. Senator Rich expressed apprehension that the IMF's anticipated approval of a $3 billion extended credit facility for Ghana would proceed without addressing this outstanding debt. He argued that this could set a harmful precedent for other sovereign borrowers and negatively impact US companies operating abroad. And in Commodias, I could another fella diaba. Utie US Senate and some Awaka say the NDC government under His Excellency John Mahama enter extended credit facility from IMF. And yet His Excellency Nana Danko Kufado and then Abai Uramuno. And the Oma disbursement na we but we a new extended credit facility. Ghana say kwaji another $3 billion. Says economy and according to the US Senate. America form munis onansi form no omo he na omo kano ya Ghana edede omo companies ya ebetumi asay omo operations no yante says kano and from free form ade ema wo. The senator emphasized that two of the affected companies, Twin City Energy and Sharp, have investments backed by the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, DFC, meaning that Ghana's arrears not only affect private businesses, but also investment financed by U.S. taxpayers. urging Secretary Yellen to leverage the United States' position as the IMF's largest U.S. support to further IMF assistance to Ghana be made contingent upon the Ghanaian government's commitment to repaying its debts to American entities. I urge you to direct our executive director at the IMF to make clear that U.S. support for further IMF assistance to Ghana will depend on a good faith effort to establish a concrete and enforceable repayment plan for the remaining outstanding arrears, he stated. The proposed repayment plan, according to Senator Rich, should include transparent auditing, reporting, and enforcement mechanisms to ensure compliance. He also suggested that portions of the IMF disbursement be allocated specifically to clear debt owed to American companies by the Ghanaian government. Senator Rich warned that proceeding with IMF disbursement without addressing Ghana's debt obligations could undermine constructive U.S. engagement with Ghana and deepen Ghana's reliance on international financial assistance. Allowing the next disbursement without addressing these concerns deepens Ghana's reliance on international assistance while neglecting its obligations to U.S. private sector partners, he cautioned. The letter, copied to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, U.S. Executive Director of the IMF Elizabeth Shortino, and DFC CEO Scott Nathan, also pointed to the urgency of resolving the issue. Senator emphasized that the U.S. Treasury and its executive director at the IMF should prioritize the resolution of Ghana's outstanding debts, stating that future U.S. support should be tied to responsible fiscal practices and fair treatment of American interests abroad. This development comes as the IMF Board of Directors prepares to review Ghana's third program under the Extended Credit Facility later this month after meeting with Ghanaian officials in Accra yesterday. Enunti, komobonu tietia ene ne tintin nyina ne say. Senator Rich say, e kanu a Ghana ban these United States private companies no, e back from 2010. Na obuhwe omon krata mu no, sa ban ebedi to me from 2010 na de besi 2016 no. E hye ya US aban ye de to ho so omon fa ntuatua ka ne bi ne hye ya do na omon ani so. Hye ya do no a omon ani so. Now, after 2016, 2017 to date, and aban will be taking over from that previous administration. Ebo modern to can be by yes still can Dawson. Yeah, according to Senator Rich, $251 million. Enunti, se sa aban no a wo yes se ya 1 to me ani so sa besi 2016 na sa badia. Enye by force. IMF nhwe. Na IMF mfa conditions into strict conditions. Yes, I can na ombete dey free extended facility ye pede free IMF. Na omo leverage on the fact say IMF board no empanifo etiso no America ban enso hunkofu enunti say ensaka sa $3 billion extended facility ya ndi si aban yi peyi a according to Senator Rich Carter wa copy Ediama US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, US Executive Director of IMF Elizabeth Shortino, any penifo akaka ho omo hese sa $251 million in there omo temfan free because they don't trust this current government to follow strict arrangement for the payment of these debts accrued as a result of a partnership between the government of Ghana and private partners in the United States of America. Said the mekan no be our in-depth analysis of this news. Over to me ako cnbc.com. Now Basha Honomo say US Senator wants Ghana to pay off debt to American companies with IMF funding or the detailed news. Portions of it has also been captured by My Joy Online. Yeah, Oshe source now. Isaac Yabua, the 16th of January 2025, 9:47 a.m. So you can cross check and see. Say you need to. And the interesting times ahead. Yabehe komodi akoso between Ghana government officials and the IMF for extended IMF loan facility. Oman we yankasa no ano asemu asempa se beye ni ebetumi ade ho de afiri IMF nsem eno nkwan ya dewa kofoi kan se mebrebe se wo mo ka ye nyina ebenya ska to forcing doctor ebe say also mo afachiri akwa ya an extended facility omo so beje the same $3 billion. Enti ye hanimu de be se bia no this same platform stick to it. Yeah, the in-depth report on this story ebebrem. Now it was a fufu.
Today Ghana for Enya. We say offer kra na ye can say President Akufo-Addo ebe go down as the best president of the Fourth Republic.
In terms of deliverables,
especially a Juma Wabo free senior high school alone, especially in Zongo for Yakra na yakase anya so fa so chen obi a essence oko Zongo me time na me nyini if just Zongo ya ewie JSS ayetimi ko secondary school na ye nipa 7 pe.
Look at that.
Yes, me batch na ye 7 pe minimum nyina so ho ba ko pe ye miensa pe na etimi ko tertiary. Your course secondary school no cry we out of 7 no me ansa pe enetimi ko tertiary omo ntimi anko kra omo but omo ko secondary school na we but because omo no omo wo 40 mi eye nanso ene se ye ka eye nkwala omo ewo eye zongo se omo ye 10 be 9 de obi akọ school esanse free.
Look at that.
Yes, into the biggest beneficiaries because zongo no this obemusa akwala nam ho sa abasa. Dem bia obeko school, obeko makaranta school no ewie JSS. Into wi ana on nam ho. E kwan bia so unsa on nam ho ni ho afin na keka wo ko makaranta school. E no say aban school.
But makaranta ya.
Yes, aban school.
Oh, really?
Ya buy you see close to 200
of those schools.
Yes, maybe they were a entabudan ni nyina no. Ebubu ni nyina sisi kama. Ashantere nkwa ye sima kuma ku 25.
Wow.
Yes. So eno nkranhye kese e de mame say at least ya buy this is what we've been able to do for our people.
Yes.
The youth of this country so ebehu de Akufo-Addo abeye. Sanse say ye say ye to ama Mahama no wasan ba biomu a hwe de odi ahyase. Just within 10 days. Of his elections 10 days and I say do 10 days ago do 10 days na ya handi over man but she dia washase ye dia yan kan say on faili yan born empire say on faili but ye ono share bo say obeye no
we force him to.
I was say oye e be bo no tijanso
okay e betin komo ye be ka LGBTQ no ho na ya kan see the ora no esiko and the expectations so no dey be ba say the first 100 days and 120 days. First 120 days, no, and the matter because counting is ongoing.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like
normal
yes. So far, no, at say party they say and the man ya swasi ya da ko hwe gu say tem, but before che say we never hwe gu a and who the man say enti no who ni say the and then for commentary after the defeat.
Yo, Gode, I'm like Messan so echia na mechia we for. Say me this year no more follow me them about Ghana 2 times because of this election. First time I'm about and was in March. Now me call 32 towns.
32 towns
in Gomoa West, Apam area ho. And God, to be honest with you, me call you know. Now I'm sorry to say this, but the candidates no, the people were not. Almost say he's been MC for almost 10 years. So most of the people were like, "Nee, you wanna base, you know, and they were actually saying it. So most me back, you know, now the report by say, because I spent 4 months in Ghana.
Okay,
went to 32 towns doing this little underground work, and from all indication, you know, yeah, candidate no on shedan
ground MC no na wanya popular
yes uni ground sir and some of the things I brought the report back and I was hoping Sanka Omobema on more feasible, come the pressure better so I'm more feasible. But defeat we defeat be a yen to me pinpoint one thing say win kwan a year my ye lose your name.
You are right.
Name boom nefana no say means roman can. I'll say some of the leadership and appointees. No, I'm sorry if that is allowed to say on radio. Some come quick on because omonia maybe because when you go to grounds and you hear them, these were the complaints they were given. That means some of our people didn't really avail themselves well. Obi wa no the number bema. Oh, friend me number over friend on fa. And when you keep treating people like that now, they sway away from you. And I think say all these things are part of the reason why Niamakoye. The good thing then they say, the good thing is a god Obi to me na baby in case say Dr. Bawumi I didn't buy inti and the win.
You're not there.
No matter how they try to cut the slice,
for 4%
it will not work. For that one, it will not work because I saw it. Say people were trying to peddle that from earlier.
Yes,
but the truth is, it's not about Dr. Bawumi because
me. Penre chi peni mu bi ba na yedi nkomo na sanko betum. And also godin yankwa adenta. Adenta predominantly Christian.
Yes.
One ye MPO
is the Muslim. Is the Muslim.
Me ba cho ye wodo yes ye yankwa afidwase.
Yeah.
Afidwase so e yakanfo Christopher predominantly. One ye win ye.
Must
so how do you say baby I will free and then
Sunyani since 1996 you lose Sunyani East and West but Nipa o wini Sunyani no West no where is Ongoni.
Can you imagine
against Ignatius Bafo a friend of Mubarak where you Juma youth employment
Alajo NDC winning Alajo that is a election. Yes, NDC winning that this time NDC won with who?
With a Muslim
boy.
With a Muslim boy for that matter. Promo. As Central. Mijima.
Mijima winning one.
You know, sir, advancement from a person the banner candidate. It's not it. I think say.
Yeah.
The apatina abano leadership I wo no enhwe no ho asem starting kakransa na connect
so matter committee
good. I kind of have a little problem with the committee.
Okay,
what is the committee really going to do?
Okay, you see
that these people don't know. You know your people didn't go out to vote, and most of them gave you the reasons why they didn't go out to vote. I don't have any problem with the committee, but what is the committee's recommendation going to do?
Okay, so Osha MPP after every elections, committee. Even in 1992.
I know that.
I know that is a stolen verdict in the buy. I don't want a public document. But in 2009, 2008, there was a committee, the Hansen Committee.
I remember.
Omuko echiri eko bisa nkrofo yenim say apathy die. But die na die apathy ne buy. You who say na ye chairman